Right, evening, Gasheads. Welcome back. Apologies about the little wait, but yeah, we're back. It has been a while. I think the last episode we done live was the season review, and of course, by that point, I think everyone would have given up on the season. But yeah, we're back. As you can see, we've got a new face as well. We've got Josh. A lot of you have probably seen him through Twitter and also TikTok. He does a lot of great content, like little match day vlogs as well, which he'll be starting again when the season comes on. And yeah, I've known Josh for about 12 years, so he's going to be coming on every week when we do the episodes, whether it's a Sunday night or whether it's going to be a Thursday throughout preseason like we're doing tonight. So yeah, showing some love. Go and follow his TikTok. He's smashing it on there with, like I said, all the Rovers content as well. As always, we've got Neil. Lads, how are we both doing? Josh, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm excited to be here. Like I know. I think when we bumped into each other the other week, like you said, "Oh, we're not the biggest channel in the world and stuff," but for the Rovers fans, like I watch your stuff every week. I like the contrast between the both of you. Like Neil's very honest, like takes no prisoners. I love that. I'm like, because I'm sat there sometimes thinking he has a point. To be fair,
yeah.
So it's just it's nice to be here and just to actually get to properly chat. I've obviously known you forever, but I've never met Neil before. So it'd be good to just be part of the family. Really, I love it. So thank you for having me on, mate.
No, no worries. Yeah, and like I said, I think it's good as well just to get another voice as well, because I think I think it's good to just add the and also obviously like you said, opinions. Everyone's opinions is good.
Definitely.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Neil, how are you doing? How's the summer been?
Yeah, mate, it's been all right. Like I said, I never really miss it when it goes away, the season, especially when it's over in January. Sort of thing. I quite enjoy the break, and like I've had an hectic one with what's going on. Stag doing that. I'm still alive, still battled through it. So yeah, I'll be all right. Come August, I'll be keen to see how we get on. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, even to everyone in, we got Chris, Joe Morgs, Chris Collier, Wayne Clark, Rovers Fan Zone, Ford and Blue. And yeah, of course, if you're watching live, get all your questions in. If you can't watch it live and you're going to watch it back tomorrow or later, or maybe even next week, whenever you can catch up on it, I will leave timestamps in there either later on tonight or in the morning. So if you want to catch up on it, you can click the different timestamps. And as always, leave a like. They always help. Please smash a like if we get 50 likes. Subscribe if you're new. Like I said, there's going to be plenty of content coming through all of us doing all this as well. So, and also, as always, Fan Hub, of course, we get on about the new kit as well. But as always, the code is going across the bottom of the screen and in the description. So join that as well if you want to. Yeah, like I said, you can get merch, tickets, etc. Whatever. But yeah, keep up the quality support. And yeah, getting into it. I mean, I think we'll start on one of the most controversial ones that I've seen throughout the signings, and that's going to be the latest signing that we've made. Of course, I said it in the video yesterday about that we were very nearly got the deal done for Cameron Dawson, but then he decided last minute to go against his old manager that he went on loan for when he was with Exeter in League Two, and decided to go for a team that's probably going to get promoted come the end of the season. I'd be very shocked if Rother remain up there. I'll start with you, Josh. What have you made of it? Because there was a lot of interesting talk, like throughout socials and even on the comments of the video I done yesterday. What do you make of that signing, and obviously your thoughts on what it means for Jed Ward?
Well, I think it's important to state that Josh Griffith is actually he's a cut above the rest when it comes to a young keeper. I think he's got 126 games across West Brom, Pompey, Cheltenham, Lincoln.
Yeah.
I love Jed, and people will probably know if they go on my TikTok and stuff. I really do love Jed. I think he's great, but you compare the two careers as they are at the minute. The comments to him signing for us is how the hell have Rovers actually signed that keeper? How have we signed? So I don't know. If Jed's not in the equation, happy days, very happy. But I hope. I either hope it presents really good, healthy competition for Jed in the sense he has to level up his game. But I would be very surprised if he does stay. I think he's going to go out on loan now. I think Matt Taylor's probably hinted to it a couple of times that he is actually going to go out on loan. Whether that be League Two, League One. I reckon the plan for Jed long term, because obviously he signed that deal to to 2028. I reckon he's going on loan this season, and then he'll probably come back next year and take that number 1 shirt. But it was like my initial signing was he signed for us, and then I was like, oh, I don't know how Jed's feeling. But again, if you take the personal attachment away from it, it's an unbelievable signing. Like we've signed some proper players in this window. It's good to see. It's good to see. And if he lives up to the hype, then we're in for one hell of a keeper.
Yeah, because like I mentioned, like we haven't, especially the last 2 keepers we've signed on loan, we haven't had the best of luck. We've had a lot of
our loan keepers have been, yeah.
I mean, like say for example, like you look at Lincoln, the keepers they've signed. They obviously signed that Griffiths a few years ago. They had Alex Palmer on loan, who's now first choice at West Brom, and they had Carl Rushworth, the other under 21s keeper. But whereas us, Matt Cox didn't work out at all. We expected a lot of better things. But yeah, Neil, what have you made of that signing? Are you sort of on the controversial thing, or you just sort of like level-headed with that one?
I don't know really. It's a bit of an head scratcher, but because you can look at it, there's context to all of it, isn't there? Would I have when we first spoke about it last season about what you think like Jed's going to do and what do we think about a goalkeeper coming in, and I said I didn't really have a strong opinion on it because I could see both sides of the coin of what could happen to him in long term with his career, etc. Like the goal for Jed is obviously get him to be in due course a fully fledged League One first team goalkeeper and sell him for big money. That's the plan. Okay.
Yeah.
But I look at League One next season. Look at where Rovers are in the food chain of that division.
Mm-hmm.
Is bringing in another goalkeeper, a young goalkeeper, to improve his own career, get more runs on the board for himself, and then go back to another football club. Really going to benefit us and Jed in the long run, because I know the season's not kicked off and everyone's dead giddy and happy and can't wait. But realistically, like this is where I'm being measured here. Realistically, are we going to be one of them big hitters in this league?
No.
Nah. So I just think the only way you're going to get experience is play games. Are we going to go up this season? No. Highly unlikely. Are we going to go down this season? I'd like to think not. So why don't get him the runs on the board early doors? You know what I mean? Why don't you just put him in there? Because ultimately what we've done is we've brought in a lone goalkeeper who is inevitably going to go back somewhere else at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We're doing with Jed what West Brom are doing with us. It's just staggered, isn't it? And really, like I said, you look at the big picture of a full season. We're going to be middle of the road, I'd have thought, in and around that. So why not play a goalkeeper that's got loads of potential, needs to get runs on the board and play him? But I'm sure those discussions were had with Jed and his agent and his family during the contract discussions. And he knew early doors he was going to be going out on loan. He must be okay with it. Him and all his representatives must be okay with the plan that Rovers have in place for him. So I doubt there's any, bad blood or any disgruntled sort of minds there. The plan's probably been in place for months. It's just that I think you've got a goalkeeper there who's got loads of potential. The only way you improve that potential is give him experience. The only way he gets experience is playing games in a side that if we were going to be a top 3, top 4, top 5 side, but our only weak link would have been an inexperienced goalkeeper, I get it. Or a goalkeeper that didn't have the pedigree of one we could get in to get us over the line, to get us where we need to be. I get it. I just think we're going to be one of them sides that remains a League One club anyway. So why not give your own goalkeeper all them runs on the board?
Yeah, I sort of agree in the fact that I could see it. I mean, of course, when it probably comes to our predictions, like I did last year, but I think a lot of people were sort of confident last year that we would do quite well, and this would be the season because of how many different teams could have got in the top 12 or got in the top 10. But yeah, it's sort of the same thing really, where we're come the start of the season and probably come January, it'll be probably the same as this season. Obviously, hopefully not. Hopefully we still got something to play for. But it's a bit of a
the thing that stresses me out, right? And I I agree with Neil in the sense that I don't think Jed's a sausage and would sign a contract if he's not clear of what the plan is. I think we all know that. But if it does mean that Josh Griffith starts for us, are we comfortable with Matty Hall being our second choice? Now, listen, I posted on TikTok a video saying he keeps Seller alone, right? I'd probably get rid of him because he hasn't played a single game. And someone commented saying, oh, I don't know, we haven't seen him. And I said, would you trust him to come in if something did happen? And he replied to my TikTok saying, I would. So he trusts himself, he backs himself, but he hasn't played. So does that mean
I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. I was going to get into, I'll get into him about the Melksham game.
Right. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I went to the game. And of course, that was it's mad, isn't it? He was the only player last season to not play any minutes at all in any competition whatsoever. So second half, he come on against Melksham. Within 5 minutes, it was 2-2. He made a mistake for their first goal, and then he gave away a penalty for their second goal. He had an absolute nightmare. I don't know whether that was just confidence, which probably has a lot to do with it because he hasn't played a single minute. But yeah, he had a shambolic game. If anyone, Ben saying if anyone, I'd rather have Hayner in there. To be fair, I used to be a decent goalie for Bitton and back in like the under 10. So, but nah. To be fair, he was. Yeah, I wouldn't trust him at all.
Yes,
but he just needs minutes.
Yeah.
He was really poor.
Goes out. I don't know what's the plan. It reminds me of, and I know this is going to be like extreme, the whole Ramsdale Raya thing.
Yeah.
Why rock the boat? Like, we like Jed.
Yeah.
He did class. That Oxford game last season, he was absolute mustard. Like,
yeah. To be fair, most of the games he was like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
All keepers, all keepers are going to have some like dodgy games or dodgy moments, but yeah, it is an interesting one. I mean, we'll quickly get on to the player now, though, just because Rovers fan zones pulled it up. I don't really know too much about him. I know he's been at Rotherham for quite a couple of seasons, and they got rid of him he actually rejected a new contract at Rotherham. They didn't get rid of him. He rejected a new contract, probably on a lot lesser terms than he was in the Championship. Neil, do you know much about this midfielder, Jamie Lindsay, that looks like we're going to sign him? I think he's done a medical today, probably going to be announced tomorrow or over the weekend. What do you make of him, a midfielder, which I think we need because obviously Finley, Rossiter, obviously we'll get into him, have left. Evans has left. What do you make of that? Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I'm aware of him. I'd say I know loads about him. I'd be lying, but I'm aware of him. And he's something that I guess I look at the recruitment we've done this summer. I guess with a lot of what we've done, he does suit what we are going to have to. He does suit as far as a player profile of what we are going to need throughout the season. He's going to be tenacious. He's going to be busy off the ball. He's going to get through loads of work and running in the middle. He'll set a good example. I think he must be 28, 29 now, something like that. So
I haven't even looked at his age.
He's 28. He's 28.
He's got good runs on the board as far as EFL football. And forget about what he does and the player is. What this group, like even still now with the recruitment we've done, what this group is crying out for is a form of leadership. It's always needed that, especially under Taylor. It needs a form of leadership. And I don't know if this is the start of Taylor starting to build the top end experience wise of a leadership group, but it's definitely needed because we've been bringing in 22, 23, 24-year-olds, and the strategy and the idea and the direction we're going in with our recruitment makes sense. I understand it, but this group is crying out for a form of leadership, and that he needs to start bringing in some proper men to get hold of that change room and start creating and dictating a culture to get this group of players turned into a team on and off the field to deliver the form of success that we're looking to get, i.e. realistically be and start to get foundations of being a proper League One football club to then start edging closer, season after season to get to, that top 6 area. But as far as him as a player, I think I like the profile of it. I like the idea of it. I just hope he can, if he comes in, he needs to be one of them in the middle of the pack that stays fit, because that's what we've had problems with. Fitness in suspension in the middle of our midfield has been murder for a couple of seasons now. And we need to get lads in there who can get runs on the board, get through plenty of minutes, try to not get booked every week, and have to turn our personnel round, every 3 or 4 weeks because of it. But
especially in midfield,
without him kicking the ball, I don't hate it. No.
I think, to be fair, I thought he was around 26. So it's interesting that he would be our oldest player so far to come in, if he was to get him. And maybe I've seen a few Rotherham fans saying like, oh, he's gonna go there and be their best player. But I don't, as long as he is, like you said about the injury and suspension, it's been an absolute nightmare for us. In the past couple of years, like the amount of time, like you said, the partnerships are always changing. Grant Ward have a few quality games, get injured. Macca's been so unfortunate since he's coming back in on the permanent, especially last season. Like whenever he played, he was dynamite, but he only played about 6-7 games. So as long as he, first of all, he can stay fit, that's all I want. And then if he brings the quality and the leadership, because like you said, the experienced players that we have got, you might see them, or you might not see what they do off the pitch, obviously, when they're not playing. But on the pitch, you don't, like you mentioned a lot, Neil, Paul Coots. We haven't had any. We need someone like that can talk the way through. Like you don't really hear, Sinclair, Martin, Wilson, like even though they're experienced players and have played loads and loads of games, you don't see them as like on the pitch leaders. You see them more as off the pitch. I agree with you.
Coots was a benchmark. I don't think you're ever going to get a Coots again. You look at what Coots did minute for minute and the way they hung on everything that bloke did. Forget what he did on the pitch. Forget about him as a footballer. And sometimes he wasn't wonderful. But as far as every time them lads went on that pitch, they felt safe with him on there. They knew that Coots is around. Whatever he says, it's going to happen, and we'll do it. And that will get us success due to the fact that his career, what he does, and he was just held in high esteem. Like even off the pitch, events, on the bus, hotels, they just went on what Coots said, and it got success. That's the benchmark. We ain't going to get another Coots, I don't think. But we need that. This side and this manager needs a leadership group in that change room, because, like I said to you before, managers don't run dressing rooms. They don't. Mm-hmm. Senior pros do, and that's what this team needs. The senior pros we've got, it's not happened. It hasn't happened for them. It didn't happen last season. We had senior pros last season, and the side just, they didn't respect that manager. We saw what happened. They didn't knit together. So what Taylor builds this season needs to be his own leadership group. Get men in and say, this is what I want. This is a culture we're building. Go and set about our lads doing it.
100%. Josh, what's your thoughts on this? Player, this Jamie Lindsay, this meant to be signing. Do you know much about him?
Well, I love a stat, so I like to look into it. He's played 5 seasons for Rotherham, and he's averaged 32 games a season. So, I mean,
that's a lot better than what.
Yeah, I know.
Average.
Yeah, I know. He's played 92 games in the Champ, so at his best seasons, he's playing 37, 35, 34 games.
Yeah.
Maybe that's rotation or whatever. So obviously Matt Taylor knows him as well. So he's 28. I need to be careful here because I don't want to trigger anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in and takes the captaincy. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in and he's your younger version of your Coots in the aspect that he's vocal, he's loud. And I'm internally so happy Neil just gave Coots a bit of props there, because he used to get slammed on the pitch. Yeah. I thought, all right, look, he had his moments where you thought you're past it now. I mean, the bloke looked like he ran with a parachute on his back half the time, but it's not just what you do on the pitch. It was like those players would have lived and died for Coots on that pitch, and he brought so much more than that. He brought more. He brought more of that kind of like, it's my way or the highway. You need to get on board, and and they got on board. Same with Rossiter when he came back. I don't know if you were there at the Men when he came back. He didn't shut up.
Yeah. He was
always talking, and I think that Lindsay will bring that. At least he'll bring that nous in the sense that kind of humble swagger, in the sense that he's played 92 games in the Championship.
Yeah,
he's played 126 games for a big club. So it's 28 is your prime. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens when he does come in. I'm not sure he's one of these players that sets the world alight, but I think we need players, like Neil said there, that are willing to drag you over the line, that gives 100%, and more importantly, stays fit. Because it's all well and good having Rossiter, Grant Ward, Finlay, all these people and they're playing 20 games between them. Like,
that's what I mean.
We need reliability, and we need that someone who actually looks on the pitch and actually you think, God, they are a cut above the rest. Because on paper, our midfield is unbelievable if you look at who we've got. But we're playing Harry Vaughan in the cam role last season because and I think Neil's spot on. I think you're never going to get another Coots, but we can try.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the best thing about when you're getting if we're meant to be getting this player is that, like you said, 92 games in the Championship. And he's not one of these players that we signed before where he's like 32, 33 and like he's like the end of his career. He's like you said, he's in his prime. So hopefully that gets done, and he'll be announced very soon. I mean, you mentioned Rossiter. I was going to get onto that next. What do you make of because obviously, again, a quality player, but it always happens with Rovers, whether it was Barton, whether it was other managers in previously, we signed players that have got the quality but always had injuries. And I think only one season in his 8 or 9 years of being a full-time professional, he's only ever played over 30 games, and quality in that League One season before he got injured. He was out for 400 odd days. Come back, obviously it looked good again. But his injury record, and I mean, I'll start with you, Neil. What do you make on that? Was you one of the Rovers fans that wanted him to stay, or did you not want him there anyway just because of his poor injury record?
I don't mind Jordan moving on, to be honest. I just think the sooner the Barton cycle ends, I think the better, to be honest. He's going to keep, like, Taylor's going to keep the ones that he really, really likes and believes he can get a tune out. Like, Connor's under contract, Luke Thomas is under contract, Scott Sinclair's a great senior pro. He's happy to live in the area. It's comfortable for him. Those things. I just think Rossiter moving on makes sense for everyone. There's, with all due respect, what incentive is there for, much like Evo, what incentive is there for Rossiter to stay at Bristol Rovers now? What he walked into and what he's got now are worlds apart as far as a working environment.
Yeah.
All his mates have gone.
Yeah.
That group's been blown apart. The working environment's completely different. The day-to-day, sometimes you just move with the cycle, don't you? And I just think it's best that Jordan goes. It probably, when they sat down and had that conversation, it probably took 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, Josh, what's your thoughts on Rossiter? Did you want him to stay, or
mate? I cannot. The bloke was unreal, but 25 games for Rovers in 2 seasons. So I come from a point of view in the sense that Neil's saying there, it makes sense for him to leave from a club, from a Rovers point of view. I get it. Higher wages, never on the pitch, loyal to a manager, not a club.
Thing is, though, he rejected the contract.
I know, but remember, this is what I'm saying. So I understand from a club point of view why you might be like, okay, offered a contract, but he's gone because of his history. But where my annoyance comes from, and I know, call me old school, but the loyalty that we showed him, I feel like he should have signed the contract. I get what you're saying. He wants to go back up north. I understand that. All his best buds are gone. He signed for Barton. But I just think the cheek of it was, I don't know, it just annoyed me a little bit. Like thinking for him to, if we wouldn't have offered the contract, I get it. But for him to say no, it just annoyed me a little bit in the sense that, hang on, then we've hung on to you, we've helped you get rehab, we've done all this stuff, and then you've come back, played well for us, you've started all your games since you've been fit back, and then I don't know. I mean, he's on trial at Stockport, whatever. We'll probably see him again next season, but it's just that was I get it from a point of view, and look, since he's gone, I'm not missing Jordan Rossiter. I don't, but especially if you look at 25 games in 2 seasons, 1 assist, but it was just the fact that we've stuck by you. You got injured, whatever. We didn't cancel any contracts. We saw out. We offered you a new contract, and then you thought, "No, I'm good now. Now I'm back fit again. Off I go." I get it. I understand it completely. I was just a bit I just felt it was cheeky. But he's 27, so he's still got some good years ahead of him. And I think he got injured in his Stockport.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He come off.
It makes no sense, but anyway, that's how I felt. I understand why but it is what it is. But it's just a bit I thought it was a bit cheeky. That's all.
Yeah, because personally, I didn't do a video for it, but for me, again, it's hard because even though he was a quality player and great person to have around, he was probably one of those up there with leadership. Like you said, you could hear him, but when you can't stay fit, it's just, it was a no for me, just because of the fact that I'd rather have someone with a little bit less quality that can play 40 games a season than someone that, with amazing quality but can only play 25 games in 2 years. So it's unfortunate, but
I understand that. I mean, I feel from his point of view, it was cheeky to turn down that contract just because of everything that we done and stuck by him and whatever. But from a footballing point of view, when it comes to looking at what he's done, wages, and how many times he's played, it makes sense that he's not at the club anymore. I just felt like for him, he should have been well, fair play. They've actually offered me a contract. I've only played 25 games and 2. I just felt it was a bit cheeky, but I get it. I'm not missing Rossiter, but it just was a bit okay, fair play. Someone has a plan.
Yeah, it's definitely. And I'm pretty sure there's only one player left from the scout slot, and that's Connley. I think it's only one player left.
Yeah.
So even he could be possibly moved on because it hasn't really worked out for him, to be honest, at Rovers. I like him as a player, but you could easily see him leaving as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back up north as well, to be honest. But one of the weirder ones right now, we still haven't heard anything about it. He's been pictured. I've seen it on Facebook. He was pictured in Wales training on his own. I think it was last week or a week and a half ago, and that's Luca Hall. Again, one of the players that has been offered a new contract. Since then we've brought in Joel Senior to add on that right side to, of course, Jack Hunt, and Taylor Moore can play there as well. Neil, what do you make? Do you think do you think Hall will end up signing a new contract, or do you think he'll go and find somewhere else? And what's your thoughts on Luca Hall? Do you want him to stay, or do you think he should be leaving? Even though obviously we've offered him a new deal, but we've not heard anything. What's your thoughts on Luca?
Well, Luca at the minute is, he's biding his time, isn't he? He's got a deal on the table, and he's obviously, him and his agent will be looking to see if it can be bettered. There'll be a deadline for when he has to deal with that offer, accept or reject it.
Yeah.
But personally, I
just need to rock the boy.
Personally, I think Luca should move on, to be honest, for himself. I think he should go and play games, build his career back up, go and work in a new environment, in a new club, and just reset himself. That's what I think he should do. Whether he signs a contract or not is completely up to him. But when he does, I just didn't get the impression Taylor was having him, to be honest. I didn't get the impression he was having it. And why would he really? I didn't watch Luca this season. I know he was in and out. He didn't get a good run. But when he did, he flattered to deceive. He wasn't brilliant. Like, his best football was, Joey in the promotion season. That was his best football, really. And since then, we've not seen much of Luca to suggest that he's kicked on. I think if he can go and land himself a progressive League Two outfit, I'd go and sign that. But it's all money dependent. You know what I mean? If Rovers offer him a better financial package than anyone else, he'll probably sign for Rovers, earn his money, and probably not play that many games. But I think that's what's happening with Luca at the minute. He's weighing up his options and waiting for the deadline of Rovers saying this is when you need to give us a decision on this contract.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I mean, a few comments, Harry Jenkins, even to you as well, saying, Luca's not good enough. So obviously he's going to Newport. Shout out to Will as well. Make sure you go and subscribe to him. Up and young, coming Rovers creator says, I reckon Luca will be gone. Otherwise, he's been back in for pre-season. Would have loaned him out, but not a big loss if he goes. Shame it didn't work out. The thing that you said then, I think, is spot on. Since his breakthrough season, that League Two promotion season, he hasn't really kicked on. Like you said, and it's hard because there will be a lot of mixed opinions on this, like we've already seen. I've seen through Twitter, again through other socials. I would looking at it, I would probably say it's half and half. But that could me being wrong. But for me personally, obviously one of your own, player that's been at the club, you want him to do so well. But I agree with you. He just hasn't kicked on last season. And the thing is, last season he wasn't even injured, and he was a couple of games he wasn't even in the squad. And when he did play, he just looked poor. For me personally, me being as honest as possible, I know he's still young, but I don't think he's good enough technically. I don't think he's good enough defensively, and I think he's too slow as a right back.
Not a glowing reference, is it?
No, but that's just me personally. I just don't think he's good enough technically. Like if you're no matter what age, like if you're good enough, no matter what age, you'll show it. And with it being technically, usually you can work on various things, but for me, I just don't think he's good enough. But like you said, he deserves to be, at a club playing. But like I said, you look at Hunt, he might not be the best defensively, and yes, he might have not the best injury record over the last couple of years, but at least he's good going forward and quality technically. Like Luca is not good at going forward as well, especially if we're going to play with this back three system with wing backs. Like you look at Senior, I know it's only Melksham, but every time he got on the ball, he went forward. And last season, we'll get onto him soon, you look at Hunt, they're both quality going forward, whereas Luca, he's not good technically and he's not good going forward either. So, but we'll get Josh's thoughts on that when he comes back. What do you make of Sinclair signing that contract? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, that's, to be honest, I know we've brought in a load of new signings. That's my preferable one of all of them, to be honest, to keep him around. I just think he's good for over the course of a season, day in, day out, good examples, sets good standards, been there, seen it, done it, lives right, acts right, conducts himself properly. He'll be good to mentor. You watch him on a training pitch, watch him how he lives. I just think he's good to have around the place. Whether he starts every game, gets loads of minutes or whatever, as far as a football environment, like I said, forget just Saturdays and Tuesday games, training, on the coach, in around hotels, functions, all of that. Scott Sinclair is great to have around because he uses class considering, where he's been, where he's played for, the way he conducts himself, how he eats, how he lives. He'd be good for everyone around the club.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's sort of annoying last season that, again, he wasn't injured because there was a period, wasn't it, where he missed a load of games. Like, he wasn't in the squad either. I think that was to do with some personal life. I'm pretty sure he wasn't injured because, you look at his physique, he's still, Matt Taylor said it in the interview, he's still the fittest player out of everyone. Like,
I bet when they came back in for testing and they were doing yo-yo tests and everything, he'd have been top
every time. Yeah,
100%. I mean, Josh, we did both mention about Luca Hall. Neil said about he reckons it would be better for his own career to leave because even with Hunt and Senior coming forward playing as a wing back, he said that I basically said I don't think he's good enough technically. I don't think he's good enough as a wing back if we're going to play this 3-4-1-2 or 3-5-2 as a wing back.
Yeah.
What do you make of this whole situation and Luca Hall?
Well, I mean, he's gone, isn't he? Because if he would have been back for pre-season otherwise. So he's obviously rejected that contract. The club probably retracted it. I like Luca a lot. I mean, in that 21-22 season, he looked absolutely brilliant. He looked amazing when we went up, and then last season it just went like the handbrake on. It was. I'm not here. I don't want to say he's a League Two player, but he just didn't show his same quality. And he had opportunities because Jack Hunt's always injured. So I mean, I get it. He's come for the academy. We've offered them a contract. I can imagine that that's done and dusted now. I am only skeptical in the sense that the club haven't said anything about it. Like, thank you.
They haven't said nothing, have they? Yeah.
Rejected it. Off he went. So you'd be back for pre-season. You can't just be like, oh, I want to sign my contract now and come. I don't think that's how it works. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up signing for like a Newport or something like that. But I think he is a good player on his day. I think he is quality. He's an attacking fullback. I don't see him starting over Joe Senior, and I don't see him starting over Jack Hunt when fit. So I think what Neil said, probably best for his personal career if he does go and hold down a number 2 shirt somewhere. So I mean, it'll be sad to see him go. If he goes, I don't know why the club haven't said anything.
That's why it's just nothing, has there?
Maybe they're annoyed.
Yeah. Long term, he ain't a right back. He ain't a right back long term.
Yeah, okay.
He's going to have to be a centre half. He's going to have to play one of the three. He's never a right back long term. No.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a really, really good point. Definitely.
Because when you were gone, me and Neil basically both said as well, like he hasn't kicked on since the promotion season, has he? Really? Like even the first season back in League One, he didn't really play a lot. I don't think. I think second half of the season,
for the first season back in League One, he played 37 games.
Did he play 37 games?
He played 37 games in the 22-23 season. So,
I mean, it'd be interesting to see how many of those were starts. Though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think he started a lot in the second half of the season, but first half of the season when we were playing the back three, because Sinclair was right wing back, and I think it was Gordon or Trevor Clark left wing back. I don't think he was playing in the back three. Yeah, Trevor Clark, man, we need him back. The passion.
Some of the names that we have had for our club is absolutely crazy. I mean. I mean, look, I like Luca a lot. Very nice guy, very humble, works so hard. But is he the next step? That's all. And I think if he's rejected a contract again, it's like, well, there we go. I'm just surprised the club haven't said anything. You've come through the academy. You've played best part
over 100 games.
Yeah, exactly. 75 games in the league, over 100 games. It's like, where's that?
It's just nothing.
Nothing at all. It's like they seem aggrieved that he hasn't signed it, or is there? I don't know. I don't know what the hell that's about. Want Michael back?
Yeah, Michael Kelly. Yeah, we've had some names.
Yeah, we've had Josh Hare. God.
Yeah, Josh Hare. I mean, his deliveries were class, but he just awful defensively.
He had a peg on him, didn't he? But yeah, then going backwards, it was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, definitely.
I heard Scott Sinclair as well. Whatever you say about Scott Sinclair, there's no bad words from me. He's great.
Yeah, we both said the same. We both said the same as well. Yeah, 100%. I think it's right decision to. Thing is, because
a model professional. He outruns the young ones. He has the body of a Greek god. He is exactly how. If you're a young player, or even not a young player, like even if you're in like 25, 26, 27, whatever, and you look at him and you think, wow, that's longevity. And I think that you need that around the club. I mean, he keeps himself into. I counted the other day how many Instagram posts he posted when he was on it, but it was about 34, all topless. Like
why not?
He works so hard. All right, his output's not what it used to be, but he's dangerous. And I think you need someone to be able to look up to in the club and think, wow, I want to do it like that. And he's comfy here. We like him, so. It was an absolute no-brainer, in my opinion.
Some interesting stats, though, about Sinclair. Like I said, a lot. I'm pretty sure, 100%, unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, like I said, a lot of the games he missed wasn't through injury. So for whatever reason, the games he missed, let's say, so Evans played pretty much every game. Sinclair probably was, 25, 20 games behind him. In terms of that, and same as Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas was, I think, top 3 of all players that played. Sinclair was only 2 goals behind Evans in the league last season, and 2 goals behind Luke Thomas as well, which is mental.
Yeah,
like when he plays, he does usually play quite well, and he has.
He's your player that will always give you a 7 out of 10 every game.
Yeah.
And we need that. And I have absolutely no quarrels with him being there. I think the whole thing at the start of the season, I think he was going for like a divorce or a breakup with Hannon Flanagan.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe his headspace wasn't in it, but I don't know. It's not our job to, I don't know, put rumors in that, I suppose. But the contract he signed was an absolute no-brainer. I mean, look, he's played in the Prem. Like he's quality. I love him, and he's one of our own. So happy days.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, got a good question here for Will as well. Where do you guys see Luke Thomas playing? For me, he's a starter, but with Senior at right wing back, and there aren't really many wingers in the 3-5-2. Go with you, Neil. If we are going to play that I'll quickly say first. Thing is, with that formation, you can play like a 3-4-2-1. So you don't have to have 2 strikers. So, for example, you could, let's just say Chris Martin for an example, even though I don't really want him starting loads and loads of games next season because I know he's amazing when it comes to finishing, but off the ball, he offers nothing pretty much. But you could say play a Chris Martin and then have 2 sort of number 10s false 9 behind him, like we were doing when Taylor first come in. So we had like an Evans and a Collins just behind, was it Marcus when he first come in? So we could do something like that. So say, for example, you could have Saturio and Thomas as like 2 number 10s behind a big target man. So let's go with you, Neil, first. Where do you think? Do you agree with that he can play sort of or even just as like a single number 10, because Hutchinson has played a lot in central midfield as well as the number 10. What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you now, if you set up from the start of the season to have Luke Thomas is the lad that's going to play in your role throughout the season, you're in a world of trouble. You're in a world of trouble. His output's not good enough. Luke Thomas has got a massive season ahead of him. He's got a massive season ahead of him as far as getting his career back to where he thinks it should be, because you look at his figures, they're not good enough. There's not a big hitter in this league that would take Luke Thomas. He doesn't get double figures in goals. He doesn't he has a good game here and there. He works dead hard. Like the Luke Thomas that we got from the one we had on loan is worlds apart. Don't get his attitude is loads better. But as far as his output and what he gives you as far as, vital statistics. Not that I'm a stats man of him, but you don't have to, no one's looking at Luke Thomas and going, he is scary. Do you know what I mean? You've got to pay attention to him because he's weighing in with goals. He's laying on goals left, right, centre. He just isn't and you can't rely on Luke Thomas to be your talisman, to be your Evans, to be the guy who's going to open doors for you, weigh in with goals. Hopefully this season, whatever the plan is for him that Taylor's got, whatever the plan is, Luke Thomas needs to up his figures. He needs to up his output at the top end of the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure last season was his best goal scoring tally of his career and this was in all comps, and I think he got, was it 7 or 8?
He got 7. He got 7 goals.
To know about the bloke, like I've said it before. Yeah. He's got, it's in him. It's there. It is in him. It is there. But
he just gets scared in front of goal, doesn't he? A lot of the time.
You can see it in Luke Thomas in vital moments. He gets brain fog. He gets brain fog in vital moments. And the lads that are playing at the top end of League One in them top 6 sides in them big clubs, they're superior to Luke Thomas. Like, I know, football fans and Rovers fans, you love your own players, but if you're going to be frank, honest, and brutal about it, he ain't one of them, Luke Thomas. He ain't a top-end League One footballer from what we've seen. I'm sure if he maximises his potential and what he had, he could be. But the Luke Thomas we've got and what we've seen, he ain't him, not yet.
Yeah, because thing is with him, he's always dangerous. He always gets in really good positions. But like you said, a lot of the time, I think the main issue for him is that he's so one-footed. He doesn't have a right foot. There's a lot of times people show him inside, and because that's the only way he can go. A lot of the time he can't go on the right-hand side. I love Luke Thomas, but I mean, for me, before we got that injury at Barnsley, he was playing in the 10 and was doing really well for them. Did he break his leg before the season, before we got him back on a permanent? I'm pretty sure he broke his leg. And in that 10, he was playing in the number 10 and he was doing really well. I think he can play there, but like you said, you do need him, especially say if, for example, you're only going to play sort of one sort of target man. You do need the number 10s behind him, obviously getting probably double digits at least, really, throughout the season, or at least 9 goals in the league, not all comps. So, what's your thoughts on with playing the 3 and Luke Thomas? What do you make of that?
Well, see, I totally agree with Neil in the sense that his output isn't what we need it to be, but I am a Luke Thomas fanboy because of the havoc that he actually creates.
Well, I am as well. I do like him.
He creates so much havoc around what he needs to. But what I think Neil's saying is, it's all well and good you doing that, but where's your output? Where's your individual output? Because he's played 78 games for Rovers, 8 goals, 14 assists. So he played 46 games, 7 goals, 9 assists last season, whatever, and that's 5 and 7 in the league. Like, you look at that on paper, you need double that. You need double that. Now, I think if he hits his potential, scary player. Yeah. But I keep agreeing with Neil, but next season is huge for him. Yeah. Because this is your chance to solidify. I think he will start. I think he'll start quite a lot of games. With the 3-5-2, you're not going to play him as a wing back, I suppose. So he's going to have to fit him in somewhere, maybe in the attacking midfield role. But I also think he's dangerous coming off that right, cutting in on his left. But that's the thing. Like, that's it. How do you stop Luke Thomas? He cuts in off his right, he goes on his left. So it's, I'm not sure. I think next season, I think he really will be. It's now or never for him. I think last season was a good stepping stone, 7 goals, 9 assists. Let's build on that now, but he has to build on that. You look at players and you think, right, if you get 7 and 9 last season, you need at least 10 and 12. Like, you need to keep going. And
keep improving.
Like you said, right, that's his highest goal scoring ever. That's 7 goals. So we need more from LT. I also think he knows that he needs more from himself, because he looks frustrated when these chances aren't going in, when he's hitting post, crossbar, and every man and his dog before. Like, I get that, but as soon as he picks it up on the half turn and he runs at players, you think, right, something could happen here, and that's what you get from him. I'm not sure we have that like nippy little waspy player in our team other than LT, but at the same time, Neil's spot on. The reason that we are where we are, 14th and lower, is because that's your winger's best ever season, 7 and 9. Yeah. You need double that. I mean, it's hard.
If you're looking at people that are going to play in the hole as well, forget recruitment. If you just what we've brought in, if you've just got what we've left with, if you have for 30 games a fit Luke Thomas or a fit Macca's got to go in there, and he's more of a threat.
Yeah, he'll get more goals, that's for sure.
And I think that's where the money is, mate. Goals is where the money is.
Right wing. LT needs to be on that right wing, and it depends how Matt Taylor plays, to be honest. But yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's quality, but at the same time, I think he's quality for Rovers. So we need more. We need another level. We need another level from him to be able to look back and think, do you know what? Fair play. You look at Azza, you look at Evo, they were always going to go. Yeah. With LT, like Neil says, I don't think anyone's knocking on the door at the minute saying, actually, can we inquire? But I think he has it in him. But how many times do we say it? So
because Thomas needs to be. I mean, it's hard because he was so good for us in the 3 years he was, and his output was amazing for us, and we got very lucky with his injuries. But I think he's almost not got the skills, but he's definitely got the drive and the pace and the potential. But he almost needs to be getting like Bowden numbers.
Yeah.
But Bowden was something else. Like some like younger Rovers fans, like when they're not seeing it, like, what, Billy? But honestly, like for us, like, he was unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
But if you look at Bill's career, we got him right at a sweet spot. We had the best of Bowden. We had the best of him. Other than that, he was broken.
I was just thinking that as well.
That's true.
For Rovers, he was unreal, and then it was like,
Yeah, I mean, and of course, another ex-Rovers player that we'll be playing against next season. Of course, he's signed for Burton Albion, a team that we don't do well against. So yeah, it'd be funny seeing him scoring.
They are building a team, by the way.
There's loads of players.
Elliot Watt.
Yeah, I wanted him. Yeah,
Burton Albion. Elliot, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. What a player! I was gagging for him.
Yeah, Elliot Watt. He's a good player. But yeah, there's been a few questions on strikers. I'll go with Neil first. What strikers do you want Rovers to sign? Because I'm guessing, Sartorio, I mean, it said Rovers have signed a striker, Sartorio, who's a striker, but he's literally played everywhere. Mainly plays as a left wing or maybe with a target man. But I would guess from a lot of Rovers fans' points of view on socials and you two, that would you guys prefer Martin to be more of a bench player as well next season? Do you guys both agree on that?
No, I think with Chris Martin, I think what you might have done, you've got to be aware of that. You might not get the season you got from him last season. Like, he was unreal, wasn't he? It's like
He's ridiculous.
You can't expect him to turn that out all over again because he carried us.
Yeah.
Where would we have been without that bloke?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think actually, genuinely, I worked this out. If Chris Martin wouldn't have scored the goals he scored, we would have scored the second least amount of goals in the league.
Yeah, it's crazy. He was ridiculous, wasn't he? Like some of his finishes as well. Like there ain't many players. A lot of strikers, especially in League One, you see him a lot of the time, like Alfie May off the last man running for on goal. Like Martin, the amount of different goals he scored last year was insane.
And it's mad because he doesn't run.
Yeah, but he's just so good. Like in his head, like
and
technically he's amazing. Like
we 100% need to lighten his load though. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, if he's fit, you're playing. But if you don't have to get 2 games a week out of Chris Martin, don't. That's the way I look at him. Play him when he's 100% firing and good to go. As far as players that I'd want to bring in to alongside him. I know I think we've been all right in the loan market, so we must have 3 or 4 left in us as far as loans.
Yeah, we signed 2 so far.
If I could bring in anyone, if I could bring in players that would fit the bill and I think would be available, I wouldn't mind Tashamanga, to be honest, from Peterborough. I think he can stretch her, he can go in behind, and he's affordable because you can chuck names out, but can we afford them? Everyone can chuck names out, but you've got to be measured in what you're trying to attract. The one that I'd take if you could get him here would be a lad called Oscar Zawada, who plays in the A-League. He's a big Polish bloke and he's a machine with his back to goal. If the ball comes in the box, he wins it. I don't know, he'd be in the same sort of brick mould as if you could get him as well, like someone like Connor Wickham. Do you know what I mean? Big, strong, can go in behind you. He might not be the quickest, but his yard of pace will be on his strength because he'll get his arm across you. And when the ball comes in the box, more often than not, he'll win it.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Because a lot of these names, like strikers, are the most important. Like goals are the most important. Like they're gonna cost a lot of money. And whether you
take Ben Waine on loan. I know we spoke about him last season.
Plymouth,
I'd take Ben Waine on loan again. Like if you can get him from Plymouth, just because for someone who will stretch aside with 20 minutes left.
Yeah. I think although Satorio is fast, he's not as rapid as Ben Waine. Like Ben Waine is rapid, and I think he'll play at Plymouth. Like I think that could be a shout. I mean, Josh, I know you've done your transfer targets like I did. What would your strikers be that you would like? Whether they'd be obviously try and keep it obviously realistic. There's probably one name I know you're going to say this. I think everyone Rovers fan wants to sign.
Well, listen. So if you want me to be like dream realistic signing that we can sign for as a striker, I'd be looking at Will Evans myself personally from Newport. Yeah. Unbelievable. Also was playing at like left back, right back at some points as well. So
it's mad
for a team. Max Dean as well, players like that. Again, MK Dons are building a very good squad down there.
He's going there, isn't he? Have you seen where he's going?
Where's he going?
Toulouse.
Oh, he's going to France.
He's going to the French league.
All right. Well, there we go then. But listen. So Will Evans is the one was my like dream. Yes, I want him. But I know for a fact, and I have been asked to keep this relatively quiet, so I'm not going to do. But we are actually in for Promise Omershare. We are in for him.
Well, he come out, didn't he? But he's not a he's not a strike. I mean, he can play there, but he's not.
I have been promised that this guy is actually great. It's like, oh, he's physical. He's this. He's that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited by that, and I know I probably should be in the sense that he's 23. He's got, he's got potential, and but we've bid for him. That's been rejected and whatever. So it looks like we're going for him, but I don't want to sound harsh because it's like, is that underwhelming? Like, is that an underwhelming signing?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I've seen he's played 2 seasons in League One, got 13 goals in all comps in those 2 years.
That's it.
He's he's physically strong. He's got power. But again, like we're signing we've got a lot of what's the word? I mean, we've just got we're getting in a lot of these like sort of 10s, like how many 10s, and yes, he can play on the wing. Yes, he can play as maybe a centre forward, but we're signing a lot of these players that can play in the exact same position.
I agree, and I also seem to be signing like a lot of promising signings.
Yeah.
We need that signing, and I am our transfer window so far, I'd say is a solid 7 or 8 out of 10 if we're going to talk about it properly, each player individually. But Isaac Hutchinson, I could talk about him for hours, but if we're going to go for that striker signing, and I actually think Chris Martin will start. I actually think Chris Martin will start up top, and I probably think we're going to see Sotirio probably on the left, or maybe I don't know with Isaac Hutchinson the 10, maybe Thomas on the right if we're going to play like that. I don't know, but we are. we need another striker. Neil's right. If you're expecting 2 games a week out of Chris Martin every week, you can see what happened at the end of last season. He started to burn out. We were missing pens left, right, and centre. Like, if we can pay a good fee for these younger players, Promise Omacher, however you say his last name, fine. But I think Fleetwood would ask an absolute bomb because they're a bit greedy. So it's
look at this comment though. Look how true this is. Last year,
I know,
JCH, and also Alfie May, the little rat.
I know. He was right there.
No, do you know how close he was? He was at the training ground.
I know.
He was at the training ground, and then he said, "Oh, I want to move. I want to move closer to family." And then he's just said that again. "Oh, I want to move closer to family." Now he's gone. Have you seen how much he's on at Birmingham?
Ridiculous.
Is it 16 grand a week?
£16,000 a week.
This is what I'm saying. You've got to understand where this football club is in the food chain of this league. So when you're talking about like the days of Joey signing household names are long gone. We ain't doing that no more. Like when you're getting people through the door, like Scott Sinclair, like Paul Coots, and like players you've had. Hold on, they've played Championship most of their career, and this, that, and the other, and this lad's played in the Champions League, and we're not getting them marquee signings no more. Like I said, the strategy is good. I like the strategy.
Yeah.
But the strategy has to be what it is because of where we are in the food chain. Like the signings that you can pluck out of the sky as far as League One marksmen, they ain't coming here.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Go lower. Look at Will Evans in League Two. Look at League Two. Look at Danilo Orsi as well. Like, I know he's signed for.
But as far as underwhelming signings, it's all perspective, isn't it? And it's all relevant to who you are as a football club. Like I look at our window. I look at our window and what we've signed. I'm not blown away by it, but it's measured and it's understandable.
You can see,
but I don't. But you're not looking at sides at the top half of that table clambering for them players. You're not, because that's where we are in the League One food chain.
Fair enough. That's a good point.
That's
a good point. Definitely. What I will say though is we can afford to be excited about Isaac Hutchinson. We can afford to be excited about him. He is, he just looks absolute different gravy. But
everyone we've brought in is to try and make a profit on, or either get a higher league position or sell on for better money. That's the strategy, and I like it. It's fine. But what I'm saying is, we ain't going to be competing with the big boys for footballers, because we're going to get blown out way as far as not just money, but as far as caliber of footballer. They're not looking at what we're looking at.
Yeah. Well, I would be, that's where I would be going. I'd be going League Two. Look at Will Evans to see if he wants to make a step up. The geography works. It's not far away.
Yeah, literally 20 minutes, half hour?
20 minutes, half an hour away. That's where I'd be looking. He'd be the one player that I would be like, wow, in my opinion. But I think Neil's right. You're not gonna.
Is he on a Bosman, Stephen Humphries?
Yeah, he's on a free. Yeah,
mate, and that don't get me started on him as well.
Remember the last season? Remember that? I think is when we done the Wigan preview, and we had I think his name's Charlie as well, same name as me, and I'm pretty sure he said it on the thing where Humphrey's attitude was disgusting.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard
really, really bad. Like Maloney just like, I think, yeah. So I would have, I remember we were linked to him when he was at Southend.
Yeah.
About 3 or 4 years ago, we were linked with him very heavily. But then he went to Rochdale, and then he's been at a few different clubs. But
he's an out-and-out 9, though, isn't he? He's an out-and-out 9.
Yeah, he's an out-and-out 9.
Yeah. That's what you need.
Mate, I mean, even in that respect as well, like he's got a bad attitude. I can't comment because obviously I'm not a Wigan fan, but he got 9 goals last season, and he's not playing all the time. Like if he
there's definitely quality there. Definitely,
he's 26 as well on a free. Stephen Humphries on a free. I think it'd be as decent.
If he's hard work though, day in, day out. If he's hard work, Taylor will not go near him because he's not. He won't. You can just tell Taylor's not the character to manage an ego.
Agreed.
He just won't bubble with an ego.
He won't be active. I totally 100, and I think that's maybe why we haven't heard his name come up massively. I think you're spot on there. You need to work hard and have a good attitude to work under Matt Taylor, and if you're not that, then you won't come to the club.
Yeah. I mean, you got an interesting comment from Yambi Sims. A few people have commented about Javanni Brown. Got a year left. Last season, 1 league goal. It was a worldie, but only 1 league goal. I think for a lot of what people were expecting, I was absolutely buzzing with it. I think most people were. Obviously, the stuff off the pitch, obviously it wasn't good, but when you sign him and you think he was joint level with Collins the season before, and he even got more than Collins in the end, and we got him on a free, you're thinking, wow. But he's just not, wherever he's played, he's just, and I think, again, to be honest, for me personally, I would let him go. Personally, I'd love him to do well. I was buzzing with him last season, but from what I've seen throughout last season, when a few Rovers fans have mentioned this, and I agree, when his work rate and the way he just sort of like, it doesn't look like he's trying when he's trying to press someone or whatever, but then he's not doing anything with the ball. Really annoys me. I don't know what you guys think. Do you go with Javanni, or do you agree with me? Like, would if an offer came in for him tomorrow, would you let him go? I'll go with you, Josh.
I hate how my brain works sometimes, because I'm always living in the past. I'm looking back thinking 22-23 season, 14 goals, 9 assists in 32 games, and then everything happened. So obviously, he went away for a bit. But I'm thinking, if we can get that Javanni Brown, like, wow. But then I'm also thinking, opposite way, he's 29, 2 goals last season. Yeah. If an offer comes in for him and you can go in for someone bigger and better, I don't see why the club would hold faith with him. But he is a scary player on his day. But I don't know if he starts up front for us. I'm not sure he starts. I don't know. I don't know. I'd be more inclined to sell if an offer came in than keep him. But I also, really want him to do well. So
same as me. I want him to do well, but
maybe one more season. Are we just giving pity? Oh, you might do well. Like, and he's not going to be happy with the bit part.
Nah, of course not. No.
He plays, So I don't know. Yeah, really difficult one for me. What we do with Javanni Brown, really difficult one.
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, when we got him, I was absolutely buzzing. Free transfer, Javanni Brown. Coached us the season before. Yeah, coached us the season before, and then he comes to us and just I think it's probably the worst possible outcome. 1 goal in the league, 1 goal in the FA Cup against that team we beat. I can't remember their name. The team we beat 7-2.
Oh yeah,
in that game.
Yeah,
and that was his only goals. He got 5 assists. Done that mad bit of skill against Carlisle.
But that's it. It stops there.
Yeah,
that's it. Like you can't he got 8 goal contributions, Hayner, last year.
Yeah.
8 goal contributions in 41 games. Like, I'm pretty sure what most Gashead would say. They'd say goodbye. Again, he wasn't a Matt Taylor signing, I suppose, but he worked with him at Exeter. So, like, there is that faith there. He knows his quality, but he also isn't fitting the profile that we're signing, is he? So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go, but I hope he does. I hope he does well. He is quality on his day, but again, why are we always saying on his day? Like,
yeah,
annoying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, shout out to Sam as well. He's a Bradford fan. Go and subscribe to SHD. Smashing the content. Appreciate you dropping by as well. Appreciate it. Neil, what's your thoughts on Javanni Brown? Do you agree that you would, if an offer came in tomorrow, would you let him go?
Well, the first one on that is, where's this offer coming from? Who's taking it? Who's taking it?
That's true.
That is brilliant.
Ultimately, you got to take on, even if you don't pay a fee, you got to take on his contract.
Yeah,
you've got to look at it from both sides of the coin, didn't you? That's what I mean. Who's coming in for the fella?
I wondered why you were so silent sat there.
It is a tough one, like, because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place with him. Because is the bloke got ability? Yeah, he has. Has he shown it for us? Not 1 ounce of it. I mean, I know it was the last game of the season. I've been on the ale for the day, but like Wigan, I must have done more than him at Wigan on the final day. I don't know what. don't know what that bloke's heat map must have shown, or what his GPS must have been like when he come off. But me coming through the concourse, up the steps, and going down to get 2 hours and back again would have been more than him. Like, I mean, he was horrific. He was horrific. Yeah.
He was like that day.
It was a toss-off game. I get it, but ultimately that summed up his season. To be honest, for us, look, it's in Brown's hands, isn't it? It's in his hands. He's under contract. He's got a year left. It's sink or swim for him. Taylor's going to have to sit down and have a conversation with him and say, look, this is the thought process for you. You either buy in or you don't. And you know what? The thought process for Taylor might have been, you ain't part of me starting plans anyway, but you're under contract. I can't send you nowhere because the money you're on, no one's going to touch you. So you're just going to have to loiter around it. There's loads of variables with Javanni Brown. You know, he plays against Northampton, he bags 2 and all's forgiven and he's off and running. You just don't know, do you?
Hopefully.
You just don't know. But you are right. That you talk about a lot of Rover squad, and when you're talking about players on their day, and that inevitably means you're a bottom half side because you've got players that can turn it on once in a blue moon. Well, like I've said before, good players play well every week. That's what good players do. They're good because they do it every week.
Yeah.
And Javanni Brown did do it every week once upon a time, so it's in him. He can do it.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I look at with Javanni Brown is he ain't been unlucky. It just looks like he's down tools and he's fed up and feels sorry for himself.
That's what I meant though. That's
the impression I get from him. Yeah. And it's going to take a bit of man management to understand him, understand who he is, what he is, and how to get the best out of him. Like, it's a bit of you've got to do a bit of job on Javanni Brown, I think. Not that I know the bloke, but it just looks to me like you've got to do a bit of a job on him as far as man management before you can start seeing a performance out of the fella.
Yeah, I agree. I am in line with what you say there, mate. It is in his hands. You're at the club, you're under contract. We know what you can do, so do it. But where is the space for him? That's the other thing as well. Like it's a real difficult one.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You look at what comment from Ben said. He spoke to him. He said, "Don't think fit our system." He played in a 2 up front at Exeter when he was sitting all of our players down and scoring goals. Like he played in a front 2 at Exeter. Yeah. Yes, his main position was a 10, but he mainly played was like him, Nombe, and Matt J in the 10. But
like even if you start Javanni Brown at the start of the season and you don't get in the first 5 games, you don't get no goals from him. What you want to see is GPS has got to say something though. It's got to flash up because at the minute nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. So, like you've got to see something from the fella as far as a level of effort and performance in line. Because
that's what I said.
If you're not that I say Taylor's going to play this, but just for example, say you set up the way you think that they're going to set up with the one up top with 2 or 3 in behind it, and he is the one that doesn't go and meet with any press. You get played like you. You become such a problem. You become such a problem.
Yeah, he's like Ozil.
You need to see in that first 5, and if for argument's sake, say he gives him a run for the first 5 games of the season, you've got to see something out of him, even if it ain't goals.
I agree.
Because that's also what Evo did. If you think about it, like Evo might have a quiet game on the ball creating, but he'd run 40, 50 yards, make a crunching tackle, and then run back up. Javanni Brown ain't doing that. So you need, and I know he's maybe not in there to do that, but you are totally right. You need to look the stats off the field when you look and think, right, his running stats, they need to be strong enough because you're not playing for Matt Taylor if you don't run.
Yeah. That's what I said. I literally said it. I was like, it's not even just about goals. But that's the thing. I think that's what makes people even more annoyed is the fact that he literally does nothing.
No,
like he I don't know whether it's just he's always been like that, the way he moves around, but it's just when you don't see any like proper effort, then there's just nothing there.
He just looked like he was dejected himself, like he was annoyed with his own form. But your way to get out of that form isn't to sulk. Like you need to get up on the horse and keep going, and it just didn't look like he did that last season, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's going about hour and 15. We'll probably be another 10 minutes and then we'll start closing it up. But there's just been so much to chat about. I hope everyone keeps enjoying it. And if you haven't already, do hit the like button. If we can get 50, 60 plus likes, that would be brilliant. And if there is any Rovers fans or not even a Rovers fan, if you just enjoy the channel and you're not subscribed, do subscribe. Follow the socials, Talking Gas Pod on Twitter. If you haven't already, we need more people sharing, following. There's a lot of you that are subscribed that don't follow as well. So go and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, follow Josh's TikTok, follow Neil, follow me if you haven't already. But I'll quickly say about Melksham just very quickly. I know I do always do a post after a game, but I'll quickly say it for those that might have not seen it or didn't go to the game or didn't see any whatever. So yeah, that Bryant Belongo wasn't as tall as I was expecting, but very good in the air. And yes, of course, we got a factor in it's Melksham. Just before anyone says, just before Neil goes, yeah, by the way, it's Melksham, I know. But
before Neil leaves the pod.
Yeah. But yeah, Brighton Belongo, very tall, very fast, very good on the ball. He stood out to me. Isaac Hutchinson looked very good, obviously got the goal. Didn't do loads of amazing things, but looked good on the ball and followed up for Satorio's shot that the keeper saved. Yeah, Satorio looked very good, very full of pace. Mola was probably the one that didn't play as well. We give away a lot of fouls, didn't look comfortable on the ball. But, you know, it's only the first game, so I'm not going to bash him or go anything mad about it. But, yeah, just my thoughts. Like I said, Matt Hall had a absolute shocker. His first Rovers appearance, gives away a penalty. Was at fault for the other goal he conceded. Yeah, was poor. Who else? Conte looked sharp. Thomas played as a left mid, left wing back. Didn't look really good. His delivery was poor. Senior, always on the front foot. Literally got the ball, attacked straight away. James Wilson was solid. Taylor Moore won everything. Again, another player that I've seen him play in the flesh before, but I didn't. He's a lot taller than I thought he would be. Like he's a bit of a mountain, Taylor Moore, and yeah, the chip Dan Ellison was unreal. Very good in the air, very comfortable on the ball. There was a little bit of talk that he was going out on loan. People were saying it. Apparently, he's going on loan in the National League. I don't really see the. Yes, I know he's signed for Chippenham, but for me, I would think it would be better off keeping him in the squad and just let him. Maybe he can come on in a few games, but let him play all the cup games. Let him start all of them. But for me, I would think it would be better than just maybe being in around the like a League One environment. The team, the quality we got personally. Ollie Dewsbury was brilliant. I want to see him get some more minutes next season. I know he's still only 16, which is crazy, but I think off the bench for us, like 5 minutes, he's so rapid.
Yeah, he's quick, isn't he?
So rapid. Like I've seen him play a few times, but yeah, he was very good. I mean, there's probably a few players that I've not said, but yeah, overall impressed. I mean, first game, like I said, it's only Melksham, but I mean, I'll be going to the Bath game as well on Saturday, so that should be an interesting one. I mean, we'll quickly get on. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, Yambi Sim saying, based on the Chippenham game, Ellison's got to play striker. Yeah, I said that. I tweeted that Saturday morning. I was like, my striker getting a brace. Yeah, great headers. And Maka as well, actually. Maka, again, if only Maka, because again, I'm pretty sure he's only got a year left, Maka. I'm pretty sure we signed him on a 3-year deal under Joey.
He's got a year left of 3 years, and he's been in bed for most of it.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I've just been so gutted. But I really hope he can stay fit, because when he did play last season, he just, the goals he scored was brilliant. And it's just, and that's one, if you're on about effort, I think he gives the most. Yeah. Like he's just like, that's probably why he gets injured, because he gives too much effort. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people saying as well, a lot of people, even a few people that weren't even at the game, saying, oh, Connley was awful. I don't think Connley was awful. I thought he was okay. I wouldn't say he was awful. But again, I think he'll be gone anyway, personally. Even when he got his loan come back from the loan, innit? He played the first game at Barnsley. and then didn't really play much at all after that. And I think he was it the Reading game at home where I think it was Sam Smith, the striker. Connley was there, and Sam Smith's not even that tall, and Connley's just stood there, let Smith just win a header and just score. And I wouldn't be surprised if
Taylor's
Connley...
not having him, and that's why that's why he plays the way he plays, because he knows his gaffer's not having him.
I actually was literally just thinking the same thing, which is weird because remember the first half game against Bolton when Azza scored at home, with that when he came back to us. Beefy looked ridiculously good, and it's like
even at Barnsley he was pretty good.
Yeah, and
that's the weird thing. He must be, his head must have been falling off because he thinks I've been recalled by this new fella, and he's decided early doors I'm not having you. Beefy knows what's going on. He's probably been told. He probably knows. Like if I'm Beefy, I'm saying get Tranmere on the phone now and see if we can get something done.
Yeah. Well, to answer that question from Yusuf, I think Beefy is going. I mean,
I do as well.
If he doesn't, I'm not even sure he'd make on the bench. We've signed so many centre backs, so I think he's going, in my opinion.
But again, I go back to like that old cycle. The joke. What if you're Beefy? What incentive is there for you to stay?
Yeah.
But where's the incentive to stay now?
Your friends have got.
He's the last Scouser as well.
Yeah,
the last Scouser
left. That's a daunting thing for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I mean, we'll quickly. I want to get your thoughts. I know we've talked about some of the players, but I want to just quickly get your thoughts. I'll go with you, Neil. You don't have to give loads and loads of detail, but what's been your thoughts on the other signing? I mean, Michael Forbes, the West Ham defender, the video I'd done a joint video when Evans left. And of course, Evans, I mean, we'll talk about him in a sec quickly as well. But yeah, Neil, what's your thoughts on the other players that have come in, like Taylor Moore, Ellison, Satoru, Mola? I mean, if you want to quickly give some thoughts on them, are you excited by any of them? Are you what do you make of him? Because Forbes, I literally hadn't heard anything of, but he seems to be highly rated captain, left centre back, is probably going to play in the back three with Taylor and Taylor Moore, I would expect next season. What do you reckon, Neil, on those other signings?
Well, I'm pretty measured about all of it, to be honest. I haven't been blown away by any of it. Like I said before, I don't hate it. I think the strategy that we're going with is smart, considering the football club we are, where we sit in the hierarchy of League One, what we're all about and what we're looking to do. I get it. Lads in their early 20s that have shown a bit of promise, got League One football under their belt, and we might be able to, polish a gem here and there to make a few quid. I get it, but like I've said before, you've got to understand where you are in the the food chain League One. We've not beaten anyone to the punch on any of these players from sides that are looking to do stuff in this league. I just think it's been a good, smart, measured approach to us looking to become a good League One outfit and kick on, again with lads on a 3-4 year deals. I just think we're looking to build something here, not leap out of this league.
Yeah,
100%.
Exactly 100%. That.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Josh, on those signings? Obviously, I've already obviously done plenty of videos, so if you want to see my thoughts, you can obviously, if you haven't already watched, do watch. But yeah, Josh, what do you make of those signings? Forbes, even Belonga, like a bit of an interesting one because he hasn't played a single EFL game, but again, like Neil said, he's sort of going. Taylor's going for that approach of mainly a younger squad with basically looking to try and find a gem here and there. And yeah. Like I said, what do you make of those other signings? Forbes, Blongo, Taylor Moore, another ex-City player, of course. Yeah. Four now in the door.
I'm not blown away, but I'm probably more excited than maybe I should be. I don't know. I rate Isaac Hutchinson so highly. Like I actually think he has quality. Sotirio as well. He's got all the promise in the world to be coming in. I think he's a quality player. You've got your players like Belonga. I can't comment. I didn't know he existed. You know what I mean? So it's like it's
same as me. Like, I didn't even do a video on him because there would have literally been no point.
What are you going to say?
He's played 17 games. But like I said when I just reviewed the game quickly, he very good technically, athletic, tall, pacey. I think that's what sounds good. Which we need is pace.
Yeah, definitely we need pace at the back for sure. And I think that like you've got your plan. You've got your George Friend plan of sign young, sell high. Basically, Peterborough essentially in the sense of we need to kind of work out. Okay, what is our plan over the next 3 years? If we don't make it to the champ, whatever, we've built a squad that you might have higher value, whatever. That's good. So with signing young, we're doing incredibly well in the sense that we're signing high potential players. Yeah, adding sprinkles of people like Taylor Moore, who are your slightly older signings, but
the same age as me, and he's like the third oldest player.
This is what I mean. But like I've spoke to I grew up in Keynsham, so I'm surrounded by City fans.
Yeah.
And I am. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong here, Neil. A while back, I watched a podcast, and you said about you really rate Tristan Kramer up until 85 minutes.
I just think, he was a typical lad that had come from academy football to me. He had brain phase. He couldn't play for 90 minutes.
I've heard this about Taylor Moore. He will be quality for 85 minutes, then something will go wrong. But for those 85 minutes, he is brick wall solid. So I'm excited. I mean, I'm rating Hutchinson like with longevity and with the idea of the signing on its own. Fine, but as a plan, I'm rating him like a 9 out of 10. Sotirio 8 out of 10. Moore's a 7 or 8. Like these are good quality like players that we're signing, and if they don't go well, is there that much give back? Like we've tried. Michael Forbes can't comment. I mean, he's a West Ham academy player. I'm not going to sit and think he's fantastic with his right. I don't know it. I don't know.
Yeah, same here really.
Quality player, senior quality player. Like these are players that are coming in and actually making a difference to the squad and the starting 11. But I do see that if it doesn't work this year, it's next. There's a plan. It's quite nice to see from Rovers for once. Like we're not signing a Junior Brown, and we're not signing whoever else has come through the door over the age of 38. Like, nice. We've got a plan, and players want to play for us.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I mean,
you know me, Char. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I just think we're class. But individually on paper, some of these signings are good. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about that. And the only sad thing is that Evans. Yeah, but we'll get onto that, I suppose, in a bit.
Yeah, Evans. Yeah, that's the only annoying thing. But like me and Neil said last season, we both said it really early. I think Neil said it. We knew it was obviously going to go, but he was obviously
when Neil came out with that, you were getting slandered, Neil. Like I remember you, Evans will leave. You were telling everyone. Everyone. You're so negative. I was.
But the thing with that is it's not about me wanting the fella to go.
Yeah,
you're just understand that human is going to do what we all do. Let's maximize our earnings as much as we can. Like everyone around him.
I remember
every single person that gives a shit about Anthony Evans is telling him, "Do not sign that contract."
Yeah. I can't believe Neil would say that Anthony Evans is on his way out on a club.
I don't read it, but it turns out he was on his way out, wasn't he? It's a no-brainer. You'd have gone to the bookies and said, "Give me odds on, Evo staying at Bristol Rovers." They fucking laughed you out the place.
Hey, you would have had a 1-4 bet of him. Like you would have made nothing. But my only question is, and like to that is, I was really I was surprised with the fee, 450k up front. I don't know how much add-ons there's I don't know all the ins and outs and everything, but I thought, is that it?
Yeah, but then saying that it's the same because the same happened with the other player they signed from Lincoln, who was the best wing back, that Lars Sorensen.
Oh right, yeah.
Torn us apart, and I think he scored in the first game and got a goal and 2 assists in the second game. He went again a year left on his deal at Lincoln. He went for 500k, and he was the best wing back in the league. So it's annoying. Yeah. I said the same. I was like, how the hell are we only getting? But
you're never going to get market value for a player like that when a big hitter comes in, because the way the process works is we'll lowball the offer. Therefore, the club has to inform the player. The player and the agent already knew it. The club and the agent knew anyway and said, because what's the alternative? You say no, Ever goes out every single training session, boots balls over the fence. There's no point in keeping him. There's no point in keeping anyone there.
They Huddersfield are in. Are you interested?
Like,
yes,
never going to go there.
No brainer, isn't it? Really.
Duff and the chairman at Huddersfield are never going to go, oh, they want 850k, let's pay it. They're not going to do that. They're going to go, agent, tell Evo we want him. Let him know we want him here. So he's already brains ticking. Right, what do they want? What's the figure? Because he already knows what his contract's looking like before he signed the paper. Yes. So therefore, it's a conversation. He goes into the quarters and goes, I want out of here.
Yeah.
So they've got to take what they can get.
Not wrong.
That's the thing as well. I reckon he wanted to leave anyway. So then he would have probably told his agent, and then the offer would be even lower because they would know as well. They would know he wants to leave.
If you worked for Sainsbury's and Waitrose came in and said, I'll triple your money, you ain't going to go, nah, because I like the orange uniform, are you?
Yeah. If M&S come calling, you're going. Following the pillars. Yeah. I mean, but I will just say, though, credit to Evo for he didn't drop performances. Like
that's it. Yeah, he kept on going.
He was professional to the end. He tried his absolute socks off. Yeah. He was great with all the with all the the fans and stuff, interacting through social media and stuff. Like he was a proper credit to himself. Like, and he put an absolute shift in. And it's like he goes to Huddersfield with Gassett thinking, "Thank you," rather than salty. But I think that's a really good point, Neil. Like, if you look at just tell him that we're interested, and he'll do the rest.
It's all that ever happens.
That's a really good point.
Evo knew before Rovers did.
Yeah, that's there we go. So maybe 450k is like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah,
you got to meet in the middle. You're never going to get market value. Didn't get market value for Azza either. You just got to meet in the middle with big hitters. You just got to say, all right then.
All right, I'm fine.
Because else you've got a player that's fuming and not interested. And they're pissed off at you, and you ain't going to get a tune out of them anyway.
And you've also got to remember, it's pure profit.
Yeah, exactly. Sign them on a free.
It's pure profit. So you're not going to turn your nose up to 450k. Ever goes happy. We can reinvest it into players, and I get that. I just thought initially I was thinking like,
same here. As a fan, I'm always there like, oh, what the hell? What for?
I tweeted saying, bring on the 7-figure war, and it was like a bid has been accepted for 450k, and I thought, I actually that's a really good point. Actually, that's a really good point.
It always happens. Like, I don't know why I'm always surprised. Rovers are always the same though. Out of so many clubs, even throughout the years, always best players. We like, and obviously you want to keep them for as long as possible, but it always happens. We get to a year left, and their fee would obviously go down a lot more than what we would have signed. Like you see other clubs like Peterborough and other clubs, you see them getting mad, players going for so and so much money. Like with Rovers, it happens all the time. We always get a player with 1 year left, and their market value is just slashed. And it always happens with Rovers, through Lambert, players in the past, Bowden, Carriol. Yeah, the amount of players and it happens all the time.
Yeah, no, it's we do have a bit of a selling issue, don't we, when it comes to fees?
Yeah, always happens.
It's reminiscent of like an Arsenal. You know, they never set. I think the Iwobi is their transfer record signing.
Mad, isn't it?
We have the same here. It's like you look at Azza, you look at Evans, you think, how have we not got 2 million for him? But then I guess.
The way you do it is you unsettle them. You've made
me really think, actually, How have I missed that?
Yeah.
They plant the seed, don't they? They plant the seed.
Of course they do. Of course they do. You'd be mad not to. And it's just the way of the world. You just got to accept it. Like if it happens higher up the chain as well. If you was a European giant going into someone like, I don't know, someone who sits middle of the road in the Premier League, it'll happen there. You won't get market value from them either, because you've got a player there that's lit up by a wage packet, going to go and play for a more established side, earn more money. But in League One, League Two, and below, the goal of the footballer is to earn as much money as you can, so you don't have to work as long once you finish your career. Doesn't matter what division you play in. Like, you know, if Curzon Ashton would have come in for Revo on a 5-year deal with $2 million a week, he'd have gone there.
Well, I look at
not where you can play.
That's what Wrexham have done. They've just said, just sign for us for a bit of that, and they have,
And you would do, wouldn't you?
Of course you would. You want to make sure you want to make. It's
the goal is to not have to work after football. And in League One and League Two, you've got to be strategic with where you go and earn your money.
Agreed.
100%. But Ian Bradley said, Miller's fan, if you're signing Lindsay, you'll be getting a player that always gives 100%, covers every blade of grass, and has got a goal in him. That's good. We'll like I said, if there is anything announced, obviously I'll do my video as always. But then we're pretty much going to wrap it up. But like I said, I hope everyone has enjoyed it. If you haven't already, do leave a like, subscribe, keep the notifications on whenever there's anything going to be a video up. Go and Josh's TikTok is on screen. Like I said, when the season comes around, he'll be doing these quality vlogs that he's been doing for quite a while now. So go and follow his TikTok. Thanks to you both as always. Obviously, Josh's debut, Neil, as always, quality. Thanks to everyone that's watched. If you've liked it, Ian Bradley, I'll be going Rotherham.
Can I just say as well?
Yeah, go on.
The new away kit is one of the nicest.
In my life. That's another thing. There's so much stuff The
new away kit is absolutely leng. I looked at it and I had to look at it like this. I had to take my glasses off to look at it again. It was so nice.
Yeah,
I'm buzzing with that. And people are going on about, the Fan Hub sponsor makes it look.
Fan Hub gas, isn't it?
Yeah, what a story!
I love it.
What a story. I don't care if it looks slightly too big and there's a little pop of orange. The new away kit, if that's what the away kit looks like, the home kit, I want it to be that Roman glass. Oh, mate, that would be.
I'd love it to be,
because that's happened today, and it's absolutely unbelievable.
Thing is, like, for me, like, I don't really like the home kit is pretty much always the same. So I don't really get to. I mean, I'd love for it to go like, obviously keep the quarters, but there ain't really much you can really do, is there? It's like it's always been the same quarters, but away kit is the one, and I love it. What's your thoughts?
Can you imagine the blue and white version of the away kit in that like kind of checker? Be amazing.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Sorry,
Neil, what's your, that's right. What's your thoughts, Neil, on the away kit? Are you loving it, or you not liking it?
I say every year that I don't really pay much attention. I like nothing ever is going to make me run out and buy it. You know what I mean, I'll get a little in it. But like my immediate thought is, I know it's meant to be a nod to the 95 kit, but it just looks like a fake Matchroom kit to me. It looks like it just looks like a DH Gate kit to me.
I come here and said it's the nicest thing I've ever seen. You said DH.
I look at it, and immediately I think the 95 shirt, and then I look at it and see, it looks like something from DH Gate.
If I got you one for Christmas, would you wear it?
I don't wear kits, mate. I'll buy little one, but I just don't wear shirts. I just don't wear them, mate. Like it'd have to be absolutely incredible for me to go on. I've never done it.
It'd have to be like made in gold if you
wear a City kit again. I saw that on Twitter. You and you're on your stag doing that City kit. I felt so sorry for you, mate.
Oh, mate, that's tip of the iceberg. I've got terror eyes. That is tip of the iceberg.
I was like, no, because I know that inside you would have been absolutely fuming.
Yeah, but with my powers, the minute you say no, it gets worse. So you just got to run with it.
You've got to run it.
You just got to do it. Yeah, you just got to do it. But like I was saying, obviously we've gone I think this is probably our longest live episode we've done, but hour and 40 minutes. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. Like I said, appreciate everyone that's tuned in. I put the post out pretty late as well. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Subscribe, leave a like. If there's any, we'll try and keep it a weekly basis up until the season starts. Of course, if there isn't a lot of stuff going on, then we won't. Well, we might do them, but just be a shorter one. But they're usually an hour. But because there's just been so much to get by, hour and 40 minutes, and it's flown by, to be honest. So, yeah, like I said, thanks to Neil, thanks to Josh. Follow the Talking Gas podcast socials on Twitter and Instagram if you haven't already. Follow Josh, follow Neil, follow me if you haven't subscribed. And if there's any Jamie Lindsay signing announcement off 5-minute warning gases, then that'll be up. Like I said, if there's a few bits, I'll try and get a reaction out on Saturday as well. I'll be going to the Bath game, so I'll try and get a reaction out as well. Thanks for watching.
I'll just say one more thing before we go, just to both of you. As a person who normally watches all these things as well, just thank you and well done for everything that you do for the Rovers community, in the sense that you post these videos and you allow a platform for people to actually have a chat and have a conversation. I'm not sure. I'm sure you get a lot of credit and stuff. And I know we're not AFTV like you two guys. Like you have done, in the sense, a lot of kind of, do you know what? I'd like to try that. So I just saw from everyone in the comments and stuff, you guys are absolutely brilliant. So it's an absolute, this is class for me. So thank you.
Appreciate it. No, it's good. Like I would have done it. Yeah, I mean, and I would say as well to anyone that wants to do anything,
give it a go.
Just do it. Just do it. Like,
who cares what people think? Give it a
just
go.
Do it. And obviously there won't be fans. There'll be fans that like what are these belters doing? Like, what are these belters doing? But honestly, like I love it, and it's been class. Everyone, like, people have gone up to, they've probably gone up to you because you're TikTok, but even just saying like, I like what you do. Like, they've said it to like me and Neil when we've been at away games and stuff. Like, I just love it. So that's kind. Josh, kind words as always, man. But like I said, support has been class. So keep up, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the gas, promotion gas.